Got some injuries to bring you up to speed on here on Game Day Recap. A whole lot of do not returns here. Let's start at the top with CeeDee Lamb, had that ankle injury. I will say our Garrett Padell just tweeted that CeeDee Lamb said, quote, he could for sure absolutely play through that ankle injury in Week 4 against the Green Bay Packers, so something to keep in mind there. Meanwhile, Nick Bosa, a knee injury. We've got some video of him giving a thumbs down, so things not feeling good there. The Bucs with Mike Evans dealing with a hamstring injury. He's going to have an MRI on Monday. And the Eagles offensive tackle Lane Johnson, a neck injury. Looks like it's a stinger. Happened during the tush push. So some concerns there, but looks like he's going to be okay to go against the Bucs next week. Let's talk about some of these injuries with the guys. We've got Damien Harris, Carthon and Pete Prisco. I want to start with Lane Johnson. And that tush push, guys, ironic that it's been in the headlines. And here we go. One of the big pieces of this team gets injured, Pete.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we were talking to Nick Sirianni at the combine about the tush push, and he said none of our guys have ever been hurt on the tush push, even though the league keeps pushing to get it eliminated. Well, now they have their best offensive lineman hurt, and how did he get hurt? On the tush push. This is a neck injury. You never, ever, ever want to be messing around with a neck injury. That's concerning to me. They're a different team when Lane Johnson isn't on the field. There's data and stats to back it up. We know he's the best right tackle in football, but there's data and stats that back up that their offense changes when he's not there. So this is definitely, you look at these numbers, it's incredible how different they are without him in the lineup. So that's a damning blow. If it's a serious injury, they're in trouble on that offensive line because he's their best offensive line.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And even more so, I mean, what do you think the Buffalo Bills are going to do, a team that tried to ban the tush push in the offseason? I mean, oh, well, one of your own players got hurt, so you want to talk about how it's not safe or how it is safe for players. Well, look at your own. Green Bay Packers, the same thing. So there's going to be some repercussions of this. I mean, obviously this is uncontrollable. It's unfortunate for Lane Johnson, but there will be more talks about this. But just to talk about what he means to this offense, not only is he great at protecting Jalen Hurts, he's an incredible run blocker, and he's one of Saquon Barkley's best friends. So when you want to talk about this team without Lane Johnson, not only are you behind the 8 ball as far as pass protection, but now all of a sudden that right side that you know you can get outside, or you know that he's going to kick his guy out and Saquon is going to find a hole, well, then you get a little unsure of that. And then, hopefully he doesn't drop below 3.3 yards per carry, because if so, I don't know what Pete Prisco is going to do.
It might go down to 3.1 without him.
Here's what I'll say about, because I'm not talking about the tush push. I'm tired of talking about the tush push.
All right, no tush for Rand, that's fine.
But the thing with Lane Johnson, we talked about what he is. He is the best right tackle in football. I think we all know that. But he is the tone setter of this offense. The offense goes as he goes. When it's time for somebody to step in and give those encouraging words, it typically comes from him in that huddle. And I think they all feed off of him. And you talk about the neck injury. That's very serious. And when he had to come out of the game, you knew instantly by looking at his body language on the field, he wasn't coming back into the game. No matter what they said, he was questionable to return. His body language said he was out. And then that plugs in Matt Pryor, who struggled mightily out the gate when he was in there. And that allowed all that pressure to come off that side and for Jalen Hurts to take those shots. But here's the other part to the O-line that it creates now. It puts the pressure on the other 4. Because no matter who's in at right tackle now, you have to slide protection over there, which is now going to create a bunch of one-on-one opportunities for defenders on the other side, those other 4, and now they're going to have to step their game up and hold up. So we'll see how that takes.
Can I say I'm very surprised they admitted that he got hurt on the tush push, because they've been preaching that for so long. Even though by the way, the offensive linemen don't like that tush push play at all. So maybe that's why he said that.
I was going to ask you, when you talked to Sirianni, did you actually believe him when he said that none of his players had ever gotten hurt by it?
Well, nothing that would. I mean, they might have gotten.
Obviously, nothing that would show up on a report, nothing that would cause a player to leave a game, but I know for a fact that to say that nobody has ever been hurt or had some type of injury from that play, I don't believe it.
Well, here's what we know. This injury happening on the tush push is going to dominate the headlines tomorrow. It's going to dominate the early talks in those league meetings that are coming up in October. So we'll be right back down this path again to see if this vote gets pushed to get this play out.
I can say I absolutely hate the play, but I also respect the play because they've made it theirs and they made it work.
Well, I just respect it from the standpoint of, now, Rand, former running backs. There's nothing wrong with running a play and the defense knowing what you're going to run. We're telling you what the play is. We're still going to run. We're going to see if your 11 guys are better than our 11 guys. I don't have a problem with the play at all. But again, if it is a concern for player safety, then that's something that's got to be looked at.
Let's talk about Nick Bosa. Just the 49ers cannot catch a break, it seems, these last couple of years with injuries. A knee injury. It sounds like Kyle Shanahan is saying that it doesn't appear to be an ACL injury. They haven't ruled it out, though. There's some concern because of how he feels. I know that we have a video as well kind of showing him giving a thumbs down in terms of how he's feeling. Here's that video there. Maybe not so good. So, Damien, when you think about what this team is already dealing with, and we're going to talk about Mac Jones as well with a knee injury, too, but all of the injuries stacking up. They're still at the top of the division, but it just feels like it cannot continue like this.
Well, it's kind of like when we talk about teams that lose early in the season and their margin for error gets a lot slimmer as the season goes on. When you talk about from a health perspective, you just can't afford to lose guys like this, and in particular, Nick Bosa, because I know you got Fred Warner. I know you got other guys that play well for this defense. You don't go without Nick Bosa. You don't go without the consistent pressure that he brings to the quarterback's lap. You don't go without the run presence that he has. He's a leader on this team, maybe not vocal because we know he's a quiet guy, but he's similar to Micah Parsons. When he steps on the field, all the guys play better around him because they look at this guy as in, this is our fearless leader. We have to rise our level of play to match his. That way we can be a complete defense and not be so one-dimensional as far as using just one player. But losing a guy like Nick Bosa, it's just not something that you want to see, especially if you're an injury-riddled team like the San Francisco 49ers.
Here's the other piece, and I'll keep it light. This is a very young defensive front. They were really young coming into the year. I think they drafted three guys at the position to kind of shore up, to find other pieces outside of Nick Bosa because they move him around from left to right to get him going, create matchups for him. And now not having him is now going to force this young group to really have to mature and grow up really fast. But if there's one person who I believe in that can get these guys to step up, and that's their defensive line coach, Chris Kasarik, who is one of the best in the game. So now his young pups are going to have to step up and become the big dog.
Even Rob Saleh as well, to your point.
But here's the thing. When you're a star-built team with heavy contracts on the stars, you have to hope like hell every star stays on the field. Right now, if you look at it right now, who's not on the field? Brock Purdy's not on the field. George Kittle's not on the field. Nick Bosa's not on the field. Ayuk's not on the field. I mean, but I mean, those are stars. And when you take them out of the equation, you don't have all that cash around to have the good depth that you naturally need to kind of supplement it, and that's when your team starts falling apart. So they've been dealing with this for the last 2 years. They're not the 49ers because of the injuries and because they're very top-heavy.
But I guess what does that say then about this Niners team? And I will say that Mac Jones said that he re-aggravated an injury, a PCL injury that he was dealing with in training camp. It's good, though. It sounds like Brock Purdy's going to come back potentially in Week 4. But, Pete, to that point, top of the division, they're undefeated. Going to get their quarterback back. Does it give you maybe a little bit of confidence? It sounds like things are trying to trend in the right direction.
If they get their guys back, I picked them to win the division before the season because I believe in stars. I think you have to have stars to win, and they do, provided they're on the field. But even if these injuries aren't season-ending, and they're not, Kittle's going to be back, Purdy's going to be back. We don't know what Bosa's injury is. Those guys will be back, but they're still, to me, they're still the team to beat in the division. I know the Rams are very good, and Seattle's playing good. Arizona pushed them to the limit today. So it's a tough division to win. I still think those stars matter, and that's why I think the 49ers will win it.
What do you think about the Cardinals?
The Cardinals are a tough team, man, and the way that Monty Ossenfort has built this team, they are a really good competitive team. It's just unfortunate they're in the NFC West. And it's just going to be hard to kind of come out of that spot, which they've kind of traditionally been that fourth team in the division and could still end the season as the fourth team, maybe being a 7, 8, 9 win team just based on how this division is stacked. And going back to the 49ers, their strength of schedule is amongst the weakest in the league. And they're winning games, like Pete said, without their stars. So you hope that when these stars are back, this offense really takes off. But the cool thing about this team and the way it's constructed is now we're seeing guys like Ricky Pearsall grow up right before our eyes, step into it. We laugh and we joke about Mac Jones, but then Mac is stepping in, playing in an offense that's tailored to what he does best, and they're still winning games no matter who's in there.
Unfortunately, as we keep the injury conversation going, we're just getting some reports in about James Conner. The running back was carted off today. Looks like it's going to be a season-ending ankle injury that is going to require surgery. I mean, Damien, when you talk about a guy who just can't catch a break, it feels like he just gets going, and then something like this happens.
And it's unfortunate because if he could stay healthy, I think he would be one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, he's tough, he's gritty, he's got every tool in the toolbox as a runner. He can receive the ball out of the backfield. He's a 3-down back. But when you look at his story and his injury history, going all the way back to his cancer diagnosis, I mean, it's so unfortunate because sometimes good things happen to bad people, but all we can do is just pray and hope.
Bad things happen to good people.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Bad things happen to good people. Excuse me. Flip. Yeah. Flip. It's been a long day, Haley. You know it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you out.
Yeah. Bad things happen to good people. So, let's just pray for James Conner because we know he's a good dude. We know he's fought through a lot of adversity. I wouldn't expect this to be any different, but we're all going to hang our heads in sadness because this is a special player. He's unfortunately riddled with some bad circumstances.
But you're right. Good things do happen to bad people because I had a good week picking games. So there you go.
That's what I was going to say. Listen, I wasn't wrong. I was just wrong in context. That's all.
Good point, though. Obviously, we want to keep our thoughts there with James Conner. It is interesting in that division. I do want to quickly talk about the Steelers, guys, before we go to break here. Aaron Rodgers had a tough week, but he bounces back. It was against the Patriots, but some history there for Aaron Rodgers. Passes Brett Favre for 4th most touchdowns in NFL history, Pete.
I can tell you with 100% certainty that he's enjoying every bit of moving past Brett Favre. Early in his career, and they've kind of mended their relationship, but early in his career, Favre didn't treat him very well. So I guarantee you when he hits that pillow tonight, he's going to sit there and say, "Damn right I passed you, old man. Damn right."
Can we put the graphic up real quick? I want to ask you guys if you think that Aaron Rodgers can catch any of these other guys, and I wasn't quick enough to see the numbers. So Peyton Manning there at 539, Drew Brees at 571. Tom Brady seems lofty, but do you see him catching either of those?
He's not catching any of those guys. He's not throwing 29 more touchdown passes.
He's going to have to play a whole nother year.
He said he's going to retire after this year, probably.
I don't see it happening. But
So we're going to keep him at 4.
That ain't a bad spot to be.
All right. I want to talk about the defense really quick, though, for the Steelers, though, guys. Fewest points allowed, fewest yards allowed in the game this year. What'd you think about the defensive effort?
Well, they did good, but I'm going to be honest, and Pete might call me a Patriots homer because I'm switching lanes here, but the offensive execution for the New England Patriots was absolutely abysmal.
You're right.
You fumble going into the end zone. You have 4 fumbles between 3 between the running backs, 1 with Drake May, interception. I mean, even late in the game, whenever Drake May completed the pass to Pop Douglas at the end of the game, he was short of the first down by 1 yard. If he had just turned up the field, he would have easily got it, but instead he's trying to make people miss. That's not what Josh McDaniels coaches on the offensive side of the football. I know that because I played in it. So, yeah, the Steelers look good on defense, but I can't give them all the credit in the world because the Patriots, they just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, when you talk about you can't win until you keep from losing, that's penalties, that's turnovers, that's getting behind in the down and distance, that's not being able to run the football, and that's exactly what we saw from this New England Patriots team. So good for the Steelers, disappointing for the Patriots offense.
Hey, hold that thought real quick because we got to get to Pete's chopping block after the break, and I have a feeling that a lot of this conversation is going to fit right in with where we are going. There's our man. We had Damien in a Cowboys hat. You get Pete Prisco in his
I can't cook it all, by the way, and Damien's like a master chef.
Damien is a good chef. He makes.
I just want to get in the promo shot. I don't even need to say it.
We're going to get Rand promo.
Rand who?
Nobody.
We got Barry Manilow over here. Come on,
Game
get
day
him in the
recap
game.
when you come back to CBS Sports HQ.